Switch Radio Sport. This is Switch.
Worcester City win that game and they will be in Division 1 Midlands next season.
Chance in Paul Job's got chance in the penalty, gets shot in and goes to the back of the net, and Cheyenne Jarvis gets the second goal for Leaford Athletic this afternoon, found space in the 6-yard box.
Back to the edge of the penalty area with the pass, crossing towards the back post, headed goalwards and in!
That's a great shot from De Castro! Oh, what a save for Gray! And Winkin 2-0!
Stourbridge have won the Division 1 Midlands title.
The Women's Football Chat on Switch Radio.
Good evening, welcome along to the Women's Football Chat with Switch Radio. My name is Chris Gadsby. I'm here every week bringing you the very latest from the third and fourth tiers of women's football here in England and Wales. That is the FA Women's National League and the 72 sides within it. The off-season continues, but pre-season games are now right around the corner, some of them starting this weekend. We have a confirmed date of August the 17th. We knew it anyway, but confirmed now by the league date of August the 17th for the start of the 25-26 FAWNL season. And there are plenty of changes coming for that new season, which we will get into. I've got a bit of a graphic to help demonstrate the changes that are coming to the league for next season. But we are going to start with the rest of the news. And, well, there's really one other piece of news which comes from York City in Division 1 North. And they are saying goodbye to their first team manager, Emily Senior, who is taking on a new role in football. The club say that Emily and her team have been instrumental in retaining the team's Tier 4 Women's National League status for the new season ahead, after navigating a period of stability for the club and supporting the sporting director Steph Turnbull in bringing young players to the fore. The club stands in a strong position to recruit a replacement manager. Emily has said that her time at York City Ladies has been fantastic and she's loved every moment of working with the tight-knit group of players, seeing their development both as a collective and as individuals on and off the pitch. She says she knows the news will be a shock and it was never her intention to leave as early as this, but she knows that her time here has been filled with some incredible memories. York City Ladies are actively speaking to potential managers, but are also open to applications from beyond their network. So you can email the club with your coaching experience and relevant CV if you want to become the manager of York City Ladies. Now, what has come out as well from the AGM and the AGM pack that was earlier this week is that, we've alluded to it before, that games are going to be mandated to be filmed and uploaded to a central hub within 48 hours of the final whistle, which was met with a small amount of opposition online from clubs who would have to go out and buy more equipment or things such as that in order to be able to do this, recruit an extra person, either paid or voluntary, to be able to do this. So I've actually set up a survey which you can find via the link at WFootballChat on X, just to find out what your club's current filming capabilities are in the FAWNL. It should only take maybe a minute to complete, just which club you're a part of, and then just a few yes/no questions. Do they film their games? Do they order to create highlights from the games? How long do they take before they're posted? Do you have to purchase new equipment and the like? So it shouldn't take very long, but yeah, please, if you do have a spare minute, fill that out. Help us get a picture of where clubs currently stand in the FAWNL. Are they looking forward to this change? Do they think it's going to be more hassle than good? Anything we can use to get a bit of a clearer picture of what is going to be happening going into the start of the new season. Now, speaking of the new season, the FA came out on the 30th of June and said This is the information you need. The Football Association can confirm the new FAWNL season will begin on Sunday the 17th of August and end on Sunday the 26th of April. The full fixture list is set to be released on Tuesday the 15th of July. Now, following the approved expansion of the Barclays Women's Super League, next season will also see a one-off change to the promotion system in the FAWNL, which covers tiers 3 and 4. In order to retain divisions of 12 teams across tiers 2, 3 and 4 for the 26-27 season, an extra team will be promoted from tier 3 to WSL 2 alongside the winners of the Southern and Northern Premier Divisions. This place will be decided by a playoff match between the two teams that finish second in the two divisions at the end of next season. 2 additional teams will also be promoted from Tier 4 to Tier 3 alongside the 4 division winners. These will also be determined by playoffs, with the second place sides in Division 1 North, Division 1 Midlands facing each other for a spot, and the same in South West and South East for the other spot. All 3 playoff finals will take place in May, while relegation remains unaffected, with the bottom 2 place sides from each division dropping down. We've also had confirmation of that format change of the Women's League Cup. A group stage, entry of the PGA side, 22 groups of 4, so there are 16 PGA sides going to be taking part in this, and then after the group stage it's the group winners and 10 best runners-up go into the cup. Then the other 12 runners-up and the 20 best third place teams will advance to the plate knockout stages, and then it's knockout rounds all the way through. So there is a big change to the way in which promotion is going to work next season, and next season only, but for next season. And it can get a little bit complicated and a little bit confusing depending on different scenarios. So what I've done is made a few graphics to help out. So what we'll do, we'll have a look at those and go through them. So this is the situation in Tier 3 for next season. You've got 12 teams over here in green, let's call that the Northern Premier Division. 12 teams over here in red, let's call that the Southern Premier Division. Let's do what we normally do, and we'll do the winners of the Southern Prem and the Northern Prem go up into the Championship. 2 sides come down from there and down from there, the bottom 2. Now, we then have 2 teams coming up from Tier 4. That's Division 1 North, Division 1 Midlands, Division 1 South East, Division 1 South West. Both leagues have 11 in. Then your Championship side comes down. Let's just say they go Southern Premier Division. Let's, for argument's sake, say it's Portsmouth. Now, this year, we have a playoff between second place in the North and second place in the South. Let's, for argument's sake, say that the Southern Premier Division side is the one that wins it, and they go up into the Championship. The Northern Premier Division side comes back, and both leagues have 11 teams in. We then have this playoff between Division 1 North and Division 1 Midlands. Winner of that goes into the Northern Premier Division. Playoff between South East and South West. Winner of that goes into the Southern Premier Division, and everything is hunky-dory. The problem is going to come in Tier 3 if the winner of the playoff comes from the opposite geographical league to where the side relegated from the Championship goes, because then, after everything else is done, you will end up with 13 in one league and 11 in the other. Not too bad in Tier 3. A side will just move across from south to north or north to south, however it ends up working, and both leagues will have 12 teams in them once again. So Tier 3, not too bad. Becomes slightly more difficult in Tier 4. Let's have a look at that. So here's our Tier 4 simulation. This is just one half of Tier 4. We're going to say it's the northern section just for argument's sake. So this is Division 1 North, and this is Division 1 Midlands. The simulation is exactly the same in South East to South West. The idea at the moment stands, of course, that the winners go up, the bottom sides get relegated as they do normally, and they are replaced from the North East Regional, North West Regional, East Midlands and West Midlands. And then you have two sides coming down from the relevant Tier 3, which is the Northern Premier Division in this case. And you get your 12 teams. The problem here is going to arise from, you've got your playoff between North and Midlands for an extra side going up. And then you have a league with 12 where everything is normal and a league with 11. What do you do there? And the reason I say that is because you have essentially going into these two leagues, 4 leagues. You've got your North East, North West, East Midlands, West Midlands, but you only need one more spot. Do you then hastily make a playoff for the relevant league and get a winner up, and then abandon and say, well, there is no need for a playoff over on this side? Do you plan a playoff for both Tier 5 leagues and then abandon one and say, actually, because of what happened in Tier 4, you don't need a playoff anymore, and abandon it? Do you, the simplest way, offer a reprieve to the side that finished in 11th in the relevant league and then not have any Tier 5 playoffs? Or do you, which would be a fun way of doing it, but I'm not sure Tier 5 would go for it, is have a playoff between the East Midlands and the West Midlands, and let's say the West Midlands win it, and then a playoff between North East and North West, and then a playoff final. So essentially you have a 4-team playoff, and then that team gets to go wherever they need to go, and if they are over here, then we'll have a lateral movement again and fix it that way. By far and away the simplest method is to offer the reprieve. Now Tier 4 has another problem as well, and that is, this is the normal movement. What if we then, geographically, let's say for argument's sake, I've got to try and pick 2 teams right up in the north now. Let's say it's Middlesbrough and Hull. Just 2 teams that I know are right up in the north. And they both go down. Excuse me. They both go down and they both go into what would be Division 1 North. But it's the Division 1 Midlands side who wins the playoff. You then end up with one league having 13 sides in it and another league having 10. So then there has to be a lateral movement across to make it 12 and 11, and you are still going to need that extra spot, which is either going to come from a reprieve or from another playoff or another Tier 5 side. The other option, of course, is to allow Tier 5 sides to apply and then go for whichever one is the best licensing criteria, can meet the ground grading or anything like that. So that is where things could get a little bit messy towards the end of the season, with teams not really knowing where they're going to stand. It could be a lot simpler than that, or it could be a little bit complicated and we get to the end of the season and teams don't know where they stand. However, is that any different from this year, where teams didn't know where they stood this year because Blackburn pulled out and then Barnsley withdrew and Blackburn had to fit in somewhere and no one really knew what was going on anyway? But yes, that kind of covers what's going to happen at the back end of next season. So yeah, plenty that can happen and go on. My cat's decided she wants to come in and be part of the show. Nala decided she wants to be part of the show. Hi, Nally. Put you back in the window. I thought I heard the door open while I was doing that instruction. So that is what's going to happen towards the end of next season. So it's going to be a really interesting one to keep our eye on, where the geography sits of teams getting relegated. What is going to happen? Do they go with the easy option of the reprieve? That would seem the most sensible. They did it a lot last year. They could do it again just to keep things at 12 sides. Now you want to go out. Come on then. That seems the most likely option. It's not great, just getting rid of the relegation, but needs must, I suppose. And we'll just see what happens. I'll keep across it as best I can over the course of the next season. Right, news done, explanation done. Third round draw time of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout. Some big names have gone out in this last round. Did not expect Hull City to beat Wolves. And what I like is that there are so many Tier 4 sides left in the Summer Knockout. It is often the case as we get through into these final few stages. 16 teams left. It's time for the third round draw of the Summer Knockout 2025. Yes, welcome along to this, the third round draw of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout 2025. We have whittled the FAWNL sides from 72 right the way down to just 16 left to be drawn for this third round. Let's have a look at some of the ball numbers from this round's tie. Newly promoted Ascot United, ball number 3. Cheadletown Stingers did very well in the second round. Their ball number 6. Reigning champions Halifax still in there, ball number 9. The other newly promoted side, Kidderminster Harriers, ball number 11. Sporting Cowser also doing well in this year's tournament. They are ball number 15, but there are 16 teams left in the competition. They will be drawn into 8 ties. Let's remind ourselves of the rules as to how the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout works. So the ties will be posted on our X account at WFootballChat pretty much as soon as this draw is done. And then you will have until 6 p.m. on Sunday to vote for your favourite side in each tie. That can be with a like for a vote and then a second vote with a repost, and spread it to a wider audience if you want to. And whoever has the most combined likes and reposts in each tie by 6 p.m. on Sunday will go through to the quarter final stage. So those are the rules. 8 ties to be drawn. Won't take very long at all. Let's get straight down to it. And the first team out is number 2. That's Actonians. Actonians, the first side out in this third round draw. And they will take on number 5, Bournemouth Sports. Bournemouth Sports, the side taking on Actonians, Southeast versus Southwest. Actonians, incidentally, the only Southeast side left in this competition. Number 11, Kidderminster Harriers. Kidderminster Harriers, who have been doing very well so far in the Summer Knockout. And they take on number 8, that's Exeter City. Kidderminster Harriers against Exeter City. Number 7, Chorley. Chorley, another side who really want to go as far as possible in this competition. And Chorley take on Number 12, Leafield Athletic. That's going to be an incredible tie. Leafield Athletic, very strong this year in the summer knockout, and surely are as well. Next out is number 6. That's Cheadletown Stingers. Cheadletown Stingers, number 6. The next side out. And Cheadle take on number 13, Portishead Town. Cheadletown Stingers against Portishead Town. That's the halfway point of this third round draw. Number 9, reigning champions Halifax. Halifax, the reigning champions, and are going well again this year. And they come up against Watford. Halifax against Watford in this third round. Next out, number 3, Ascot United. Ascot United, number 3, the next team. And they take on number 4, Barnsley Women's. Ascot United against Barnsley Women's. Number 1, Abingdon United. Abingdon United, Division 1 South West. And they will take on number 15, Sporting Cowser. Sporting Cowser, number 15. So just one tie to go. Number 10, Hull City. Hull City are coming up against, I believe, if everything has gone to plan, and it has, number 14, Rugby Borough in an all-Northern Premier Division clash. And that concludes the draw for the third round of the Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout. Let's go through those ties once again for you. We have Actonians taking on Bournemouth Sports. Kidderminster Harriers face Exeter City. Chorley against Leafield Athletic. Cheadletown Stingers take on Portishead Town. Halifax against Watford. Ascot United against Barnsley Women's. Abingdon United take on Sporting Cowser. And Hull City face Rugby Borough. Those ties then are going up on our social media account round about now, and the voting will be open until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Make sure you vote so that your favourite side gets through to the quarterfinals of the 2025 Women's Football Chat Summer Knockout. There we are then, the third round draw for the Summer Knockout 2025. Have to say, I think Chorley against Leafield Athletic is my pick of the ties from that third round draw. But voting is open now and goes through until 6 p.m. on Sunday. Get your likes and your reposts in now to try and send your favourite FAWNL side through to the quarter final of this year's tournament. Defending champions Halifax are still there, but they are the only former champions still in the competition this time around. So get your votes in until 6 p.m. on Sunday. And that will about do it for this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat. Again, plenty to kind of get our teeth into this week. Pre-season games are right around the corner, so you start to get a bit of an indication as to how your team may or may not do this year. There's been some big signings around the league, particularly from Oxford. They look like they're going to be very strong this year. Wolves have made some big re-signings as well, so it might be a Wolves and Burnley clash in the Northern Premier Division, but it'll be fascinating to see what happens when the first whistle blows on the season. Of course, fixtures are coming out in a few weeks' time. As soon as they are out, that board is going to get refilled again. Cannot wait for that, even though it takes absolutely forever when there's 7 weeks to do at a time. It probably takes well over an hour to fill that board in, particularly when we're going to have the cup games to fit in as well. What are the cup groups going to look like? Are they going to be actual draws? Are you going to be able to go around it as I did last year with a marker pen on a map? We'll have to wait and see. But that will do it for this week's episode of the Women's Football Chat. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next Thursday with the quarter-final round draw of the Summer Knockout Tournament, plus any news that happens in the next 7 days, and also the inevitable bit of news that happens between me recording this week's episode and publishing this week's episode later on tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be back next week with all of the very latest. Goodbye.